Hey guys, welcome to the Sports Stance Podcast with Greg and James. I'm the second part, and with me, as always, he always gets seconds in the mashed potatoes. It's Greg Cowan, everybody. What's happening?
Man, you know me so well. I love mashed potatoes. Those things are
Mash is the
delicious.
best.
Dude,
Mash is the best.
they are.
Quickly, impromptu, and I didn't tell you this was coming.
Ooh.
Your favorite Thanksgiving plate? Give me the walkthrough. Give me the grand tour of the Greg Cowan Thanksgiving plate.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. It does start with the mashed potatoes because those are the key thing for me.
Now, do you do a little crater in the middle and put the gravy in?
It's like you knew I was about to follow up and ask you that same question.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to do the crater. You got to get that nice crater going with the gravy. But then, I go a little bit outside of it, let it seep off a little bit into like the stuffing and turkey because that's got to go next to them on each side.
Yeah.
You don't want like the cranberry or anything like that touching on each side or like any of the vegetables that you actually feel like you have to take so people don't just judge you for taking turkey, mashed potatoes, rolls, and stuffing.
So those are your three. Those are your stars. It's the
those
turkey,
are the stars.
the mashed potato, and the stuffing.
Yeah, then you got to throw
and
in
then
like
you guys have like
green bean casserole, like a little bit of it. I don't
green
really
bean casserole. I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of cranberry sauce, so I'll just put like a dab on there just, to be like, yeah, okay, it's Thanksgiving, I gotta.
A little color, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a little color to the plate, and then
brighten that thing up.
Sometimes they have like certain weird dishes like pearled onions. I usually take like one of those because I do not like them.
Oh, they're awesome. What are you doing? You're sleeping on the pearl onions.
They're too sweet to me. It's one of those tastes. I like onions, but pearled onions, that's one step too far. One step too far. But you gotta have that crater. You gotta get that second helping of mashed potatoes and like turkey, basically only, because that's just like my finisher. Just like a little extra mashed potato, some more turkey.
Are you a fan of like everything touching, or do you need everything to be separate?
No, I'm fine if everything touches.
Yeah, I want it all kind of mashed in there.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of like bowls in general, like the KFC famous bowl where you can just
Well, the KFC
throw everything into a
gravy are delicious.
Exactly. So when you throw everything into a big bowl and just give me kind of like a spork to get it all out. That's what I'm about.
Yeah. What's on your? What's your
go-to? Well, I love me some stuffing. Stuffing is my star. I like the mash, I like the turkey, but stuffing is the star to me. And I love Brussels sprouts with bacon.
Ooh.
Have you guys ever do that?
I do that not on Thanksgiving. I do that like personally.
Well, we'll do that on Thanksgiving every once in a while. We'll do it with some Brussels sprouts.
Nice.
And Brussels sprouts are the king of the veggies to me. I love Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, when you get those with chicken broth and bacon cooked down, it's pretty delicious.
Yeah, a little crisp on them, and they are darn tasty. So I like that a lot. Big turkey mash guy. If you can throw in some sweet potatoes there, I wouldn't kick him out of bed.
Sweet potatoes? Didn't even think about that one for a second.
You know what I mean? Those are wild cards. You know what I mean? Sweet potatoes are wild cards. You don't always have them there, but if you do, they're kind of a welcome surprise. And then finally, it's pies for me, man. I love pies. I love apple pie. Apple pie is probably my all-time favorite dessert. A little trivia, little James trivia this morning. Apple pie is the best dessert.
You want to send them a pie, folks?
Yeah, exactly. And then followed closely by, in my opinion, pumpkin pie, or something that my family will do every once in a while, pumpkin cheesecake.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So, big pie guy. And controversial opinion, Greg. I take pies over cake 9.5 times out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's got to be 0.5 delicious cake.
It's got to be a good cake, and it's got to be like specifically like weddings and birthdays. Like those are like the only two situations where I'm taking pie, like cakes over pies. But you know what? If someone got me a birthday pie, I'd be so happy.
Pretty psyched.
Yeah, exactly. So
it'd have to be like a cookies and cream type Oreo pie, like birthday cake pie thingy.
Maybe. I mean, get any pie, Greg. I'm an equal opportunity pie guy.
Rhubarb.
All right, let's not get carried away.
There you go. Found that pie that you don't want.
All right, that was a good podcast, Greg. Do you think we wrap it up from here?
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Congrats.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Good job.
No, we got some sports to talk about. We're going to talk about football primarily. There's some stuff going on in the NBA. There's some stuff happening in college football. I don't know. What do we want to talk about? Syria? No. We'll basically touch on
heavy opinions.
No. Yeah, we'll basically touch on those things today. We'll do juries in, juries out, and we have a couple other things planned for us today. But Greg, before we kind of get into it, anything else? How are you?
Not too much going on with me. Told you last week I had an interview. Basically have to call back again in January because I'm so amazing. They said, "Hey, we're not ready for you. We want to be ready for you."
Gotcha.
So that was
fun.
We
need to get ready for you.
Yeah, that was good times. So besides that, still just chilling, trying to get through life one day at a time.
Gotcha.
What about you, James? Gotcha. How's the new promo?
Oh, it's going crazy, man. Very busy, but rather be busy than bored, which is good. Yeah, I haven't had much time for a lot of stuff. I've been able to watch a little bit of sports, and that's basically it. So, it's a grind, but we love it. And back in getting a couple days off for Thanksgiving is pretty good.
Nice.
All right, man. Cool. Let's get into it. Week 11 in the books on the NFL here. What we're going to do today is we're going to do juries in, juries out. At this point in the season, it's jury's going to be in for a lot of these situations, a lot of these teams, but it's still probably good to kind of go back and reassess the things that we want to, things we predicted at the beginning of the season, and get some perspective here. So, Greg, give me a jury's in. What do we know for sure?
Well, it was basically decided this week, James, for the jury's in that Kirk Cousins, psychopath. Guy literally, did you see what he did at the end of the game on Sunday night?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. It's not the first time he's just shout at random crazy thoughts at a person or GM or whoever. So plain and simple, we don't like that all the time, Kirk. But you are without a doubt, psychopath, but you can play. Put up some big numbers on Sunday night. So I guess he deserves to be kind of psychotic when you can put up 350 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out where Kirk Cousins is from, like Barrington, Illinois. That's where this guy's from. Like he seems like he's like a country boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like let's hop in the pickup truck and listen to listen to some, I don't know, who's a country guy? Jason Aldean? I don't know.
He makes me think of the scene from Footloose, if you ever saw it, where they do chicken with the 2 tractors.
Yeah.
And he's the guy that's on the tractor that's just refusing to give in. He'll crash it into you to prove a point.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's that psycho.
So I don't know. I think that but Barrington, Illinois, doesn't seem super, super country. So I could be totally wrong there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're gonna have to. He's crazy, man, and good for him for betting on himself this season and getting that franchise tag. So he's gonna get himself a nice payday coming out.
Yeah, just gotta have a few more good games, and he'll get paid.
Yeah.
Who's your jury's in though for the week?
Trying to figure that out right now. A lot of these things that we already know, and I want to try to avoid. I want to try to avoid talking about the same things over and over again. So I guess I'll just go with the Patriots.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'll say that the jury's in about the top 3 teams in the NFL right now. I think the top 3 teams in the NFL are the Cowboys, the Patriots, and the Seahawks. And I think the jury is in, that those are the 3 teams. Could you name a 4th team that you want to put in that tier? Because I don't think I can.
I mean, Oakland last night, they're on that cusp. They had a good game in Mexico City and Estadio Azteca.
Yeah, uninspiring.
Come back.
Yeah, it's just a run of the mill. We put up 27 and we did what we had to do in a different location. So
yeah, they couldn't run the ball, but
I'm not prepared to put the Raiders in that upper echelon. I think that you have that upper echelon of the Seahawks, the Cowboys, and the Patriots. I think the Raiders are directly below them, followed by basically the other 3 teams that are vying for a playoff position in the AFC West.
Yeah, I think the Raiders, if anything, have to be considered in their own little category right now. Just under the top 3.
I think you have the Raiders, the Chiefs, the Broncos, and like the Vikings on a good day.
Or Detroit or Atlanta, I guess. Oh no, the Giants. The Giants are 7-3.
They're not in an upper echelon, Greg. They're one of the worst 7-3 teams in the history of 7-3 teams.
They're still around there, though, James. You got to give them some credit.
No, I don't. I don't have to give them any credit. I don't have to do anything, sir. How dare you? How dare you tell me what I have to do?
I'm sorry, I forgot. This is America. This is America. You get your own opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. So that's my jury's in. Those are the upper three teams. Greg, what is the jury's out on for you? Jury's out.
Jury's out on, is Miami actually a legit playoff contender right now? Because they're 6-4. They've won, I think, 4 straight? Something like that. Their defensive line looks good again. Ryan Tannehill kind of looked competent, and he's doing just enough to help them win games. I mean, they got some big games coming up. They got to face the Patriots again. They have their whole division again, but right now they're looking like they could maybe sneak in like in the back if the AFC West beats up on each other. So I'm trying to figure out, are they actually legit or are they just getting kind of lucky?
Yeah, the AFC West is going to be the big thing that stands in their way. Also, if they kind of skid a little bit, they also have a couple teams from the AFC North, because you have the Ravens and the Steelers kind of vying for, a playoff position in that sense as well. So you have a good amount of teams clustered around the middle there.
Yeah, but their schedule is not that intimidating coming up. They got the 49ers. They have the Ravens, tough game probably. Cardinals will be kind of hit and miss if the Cardinals play well. Then you have the Jets, who aren't great, Bills, who are 500, and then they finished it off with the Patriots in the final week, which if the Patriots have it wrapped up, they might not even play their starters.
Yeah, that's interesting. That definitely is an easier schedule than some of these other playoff teams. I don't know. I don't think I'm ready to hitch my wagon to the Miami Dolphins, to be totally honest.
The jury's out.
I just don't think I'm ready there. I guess it's a good jury's out then from that sense. Okay, cool. There's a lot of teams right now that I was not expecting to, like 4 or 5 weeks into the season. I had written off a few of these teams, and now they're kind of all right around the middle. I mean, this AFC, it is just a mass of teams right in the middle that are vying for playoff spots. You've got the Dolphins, the Steelers, the Colts, the Bills, the Titans, the Chargers, the Bengals, but the Chargers and the Bengals probably not. So it's just basically the Dolphins, the Steelers, the Colts, the Bills, and the Titans that are on the outside looking in right now that could potentially, have a playoff spot by the end of this year. So it's going to be a fun last few weeks.
Yeah. Even the AFC South is kind of slightly picking it up and making it their name just kind of mentioned in potential sneak-ins, which is sad.
I hate the AFC South. Okay, my jury's out. I'm going to say jury's out on Jared Goff.
Good one. It's a good one.
He made his home debut, made his NFL debut for the Los Angeles Rams against the Miami Dolphins. Number 1 overall draft pick, Greg, in Week 11, made his number 1 debut against the Dolphins. He went 17 of 31 for 134 yards.
Ooh, big numbers.
Averaged about 4.3 yards per pass. Threw up a QBR of 53. Didn't have any touchdowns. Didn't have any interceptions.
Only got sacked once, so.
Only got sacked
Not
once.
bad.
There's the positive. There you go.
Yeah.
Out of your number 1 overall pick of this draft during his NFL debut, it's really encouraging when you get to say, hey, he only got sacked once.
Yeah. Basically, after everything I've heard about that guy, yeah.
Yeah, so I think the jury's out on this guy. I mean, it's amazing to me that they really took this long to play him. And whether or not he stinks, like, that's like besides the point. Like, oh, we're not playing him because he stinks. No, you should play him because Case Keenum stinks. So, like, tell me how much he stinks. Show me, as a consumer, how much Jared Goff stinks.
Yeah, give me the video that shows me he's terrible in practice.
Like, I'll believe you, but, like, play him. You spent the number 1 pick on him. Play him. Like, don't sit there and hide behind Case Keenum and be like, oh, no, he stinks. No, I don't care. Play Goff. So we'll have to see what happens coming up. I don't know what their schedule looks like, the Rams, who they're playing next week.
I can tell you in like 2 seconds.
They're playing the Saints.
Ooh, okay.
They're playing in the Saints. Baby, but they're on they're in a dome. That could help.
Yeah, then they got the Pats. So congrats on another win for you guys. Then they have you got a tough schedule.
Yeah, they have the Saints, the Pats, the Falcons, the Seahawks, the Niners, and the Cardinals. Yeah, they really have a pretty tough few weeks coming up in front of them. So
basically, the Niners is the only week that they might have a chance, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so jury's out on Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about this week, Greg, before we kind of go further into or go into next week?
Not much. I liked the atmosphere last night in Mexico City. That was interesting. I didn't realize how much higher altitude it was, and they thought that was going to be a big concern, but it seemed like everybody was doing fine. So that kind of surprised me because they were talking about how it's like 2,000 feet above Denver's Mile High Stadium. And the only other thing is just how bad the Bengals are this year and how Marvin Lewis has to get fired this year, right?
Yeah, the Bengals stink.
He's had all these. He's like the Jeff Fisher of the AFC North coaches. He can do kind of like 500 seasons, squeak into the playoffs a few times, never win in the playoffs, and they're just like, yeah, we'll keep you around.
Yeah, I feel like that gives Jeff Fisher a lot of credit. But yeah, I think that
Not though.
I think the Bengals stink. I kind of was expecting them to be a contender again this year.
Yeah.
They lost AJ Green now too, so it's going to be a rough, couple weeks, and then subsequent offseason.
He could come back at the end of the season, but why would you even risk that at the end of the season?
No, I just lock it down. You know what I mean?
Put him on the IR. He's done for the year. Keep your stars healthy.
You got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, Greg, as the great Kenny Loggins once said. And I think that this one's, a fold them kind of year.
Yeah, you gotta.
Okay, week 12 in the NFL. America's favorite tradition, the Thursday Thanksgiving games. We have them starting at 12:30.
Got some good games this year.
We do have some good games this year. 12:30 the games start. Vikings at Lions in Detroit. The Lions are favored by 2.5 points, which is a little interesting. I wonder. I guess Vegas has really kind of jumped off of the Vikings bandwagon. Vikings are away, so we'll see what happens. But what do you have here, Greg? Do you think that Bradford and Co. can come in here to Michigan and ruin Turkey Day for the Lions? Or do you think that Stafford and the boys from Michigan bring this one home?
I'm going to go with Stafford and the Lions. Bring it home for the fans, just because Vikings have not looked that great to me. They had a decent game last week, but still, Detroit just seems like it's their year to maybe capture the NFC North. They've shown that they can compete. They've won the close games. I think all their wins have been by less than a touchdown. So Stafford's looking pretty good. That offense is kind of starting to go. He's getting more comfortable with Bolden, Marvin Jones Jr., and Golden Tate every single week. And they're even doing some interesting things with Ebron, their tight end. He had a 1-yard run this past weekend. So I think they take it on Turkey Day in Detroit and give the fans an early gift on that day.
It's going to be interesting here because it's going to be the battle of a good offense in the Lions versus a good defense in the Vikings, and then subsequently the battle of a terrible offense in the Vikings versus a terrible defense in the Lions. I don't know. I'm going to go with the I'm going to go with the Lions in this one. They're 4-1 at home. I think that I think that last week's Vikings performance on defense will not be duplicated.
Yeah, no.
They really kind of bailed out that team and won the game there. So I feel like the Lions are going to take this one. It's a big divisional game. So this is going to kind of decide a couple things here, provided the Packers don't also kind of sneak in. But I'm taking the Lions at home on Thanksgiving, the early game.
Are you trying to tell me 100-yard interception return touchdowns are not a common thing in the NFL?
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb there. That's my corner to die on, Greg. So don't take that from me. Okay, Redskins at Cowboys, 4:30 game. The Redskins are 6-3-1. Cowboys are 9-1. Dallas is favored by a touchdown, Greg, at home at 4:30 on Thanksgiving. So who do you have? Do you have the Cousins psychopaths, or do you have the Dak Attack and Zeke bandwagon, continuing to roll on through Arlington?
Man, this is a hard one just because there's a part of me that wants to see Dallas lose just because they're 9-1. But then there's that other logical side of my brain that says, hey, your team needs the lower half of your division to keep losing so they have a better chance. I'm going to go, after these past few weeks, I can't pick against Dallas. I got to go Dak Attack just because they've been so good. It's ridiculous how good they've been. Their defense has even been good. It makes no sense at all. I kind of want there to be a loss here or there just to throw some controversy in with Tony Romo. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And after seeing that freakish video of Zeke Elliott eating cereal like a psychopath also, I think that psychopath wins over Kirk Cousins.
So I'm also picking Dallas. I think that where I just can't I can't pick against Dallas while something special is happening, until they prove me wrong. And I think that everyone's kind of prepared for the, Dak Prescott looks like a rookie and Zeke Elliott, maybe doesn't get it going, and the offensive line, doesn't have like their greatest performance ever. So, maybe after a big win and 3 days rest and all this kind of stuff might add up to a Cowboys loss, but I just don't see it. I just think that the Cowboys are going to win this game. I think they're the better team.
They look like they could go like 14-2, 15-1 based off their schedule.
Yeah, who else do they have coming up?
They got the Vikings next week. They have the Giants the following week after that. The Bucks, which I guess could throw maybe a wrench in there if they play well. The Lions and the Eagles. So they don't have easy games, but they don't have games that you look at and go, there's no way they have a chance.
They're going to lose either to the Redskins this week or to the Giants in a couple of weeks because the Giants always manage to ruin everybody's fun. They're the worst, and I hate them.
I think the Eagles had a chance on that last game just because Dallas and the Eagles seem to always flip-flop. They always seem to split the series every year. Very rarely does one take both games.
Yeah. Okay, so we're both picking the Cowboys. The late game, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Steelers at the Colts. The 5-5 Steelers are favored by 3 points over the 5-5 Colts at home. Indianapolis has never lost on Thanksgiving, Greg. That's something I learned today. So do you think that trend continues, or do you think that Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers go in and beat up on Andrew Luck and the Colts in Indianapolis?
Well, James, I'm going to go with the Steelers mainly for two reasons. One, I think they're actually just plain out simple the better team. If Ben Roethlisberger gets that offense going, there's not many teams I feel in the league that can stop it. And then two, we're not guaranteed Andrew Luck in this game. He's going through concussion protocols. He didn't pass yesterday. So he's iffy for the game on Thursday. If he doesn't play, there's no chance the Colts win. So I'm going to go Pittsburgh, mainly for the fact of those two reasonings. But even if Luck does play, I still think I would have leaned towards Pittsburgh because Big Ben's come back from that knee injury. And I think that Pittsburgh offense is going to keep getting better and better every week.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh as well. I just think that the Indianapolis team it just is not up to snuff here. I think that 5-5 is a decent record, but I just don't believe in them. Frank Gore's looked good the last couple weeks. I'll give him that. And Andrew Luck is always a wild card, but I just think that it just screams to me of that 8:30 p.m. NBC primetime game where the Steelers just torch the Colts. So.
Everybody's asleep by halftime.
Yeah, I'm going Steelers in this one, Greg, and I think that it's appropriate that on Thanksgiving we agree on these picks. I think that we need to be a little bit more thankful for
we're coming together. Pilgrims and Indians.
Exactly.
We're sharing the table. We're agreeing. We're going to separate our differences and focus on the positives.
Yep. Okay, cool. Moving on to Sunday, we have two games we want to talk about on Sunday. The first one is actually at 4:00. Not a lot of great early games on, if I'm going to be totally honest with you.
No.
But it's at 4:00 on Sunday. Seahawks at Buccaneers. The 7-2 Seahawks, Greg,
Don't forget that one. That tie is important, James.
7-2-1 Seahawks against the 5-5 Bucks. The Seahawks are favored by 5.5 points going into Tampa. So, Greg, what do you think? Do you think the Seahawks beat up on the Bucks? Or do you think that Jameis gets a big signature win at home?
I'm going to go with a bit of a shocker here. I'm going to go Tampa Bay gets the surprising win this weekend, only for this reasoning, because the Seahawks have had to travel to the East Coast for that late Sunday night game against the Pats, which is an emotional win. Then back to the West Coast to face the Eagles. Got a few bumps and bruises. CJ Prosise, their running backs, out. Then now they have to travel back to the East Coast again for a 4 o'clock game, which isn't as bad as a 1 o'clock game for them, with the players getting ready for it. But still, a lot of traveling going on. Tampa Bay's look decent. I think Jameis and that team can have a decent game. Mike Evans has looked phenomenal. He's one of the top 3 receivers right now in the league. Doug Martin's back. If they can get a running game going just to kind of divert that pass rush, I think they have a shot here. So I'm going to go Tampa Bay in the upset just because I need to make some picks that I don't think you're going to make.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking the Seahawks.
Yeah,
yeah, there's no doubt. I'm going to go with the 3 upper echelon teams against worse teams. The Buccaneers are 1-4 at home. Jameis struggles against good defenses. Russell Wilson is good at football. So those are the things that
the sun rises every day.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the things that make me think that Seattle will take this one against Tampa Bay, and I don't really have much data to back me up.
Say about that. All right.
Yeah. This is the game that's interesting to me, though. Chiefs at Broncos. The 7-3 Chiefs against the 7-3 Broncos. Denver's favored by 3.5 at home here at Mile High Stadium. So, Greg, big divisional game here. Who do you think takes it? The Andy Reids or the Gary Kubiaks?
Well, I mean, if it was an eating contest, flat out the Andy Reids. But it's not an eating contest. Thanksgiving's over. He'll just be snacking on leftovers. But I still think the Chiefs surprisingly come into Mile High Stadium and take the W away from the Broncos, forcing them to kind of panic a little bit because they're going to be like, okay, 7-4, still have a chance for the wild card. Very good chance, but it's going to be some doubt in the back of that mind. Trevor Siemian might start questioning himself a little more. I think he's going to have a bad game. The Chiefs' defense has been playing well. And Alex Smith, I think, picks up 2 rushing touchdowns is my prediction.
I'm also going with the Chiefs, man. You know I'm a Chiefs believer. I love the Chiefs.
Do it.
I love the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to win. I think they're just like a good professional football team. And, I think that this is going to be an interesting game. The Broncos defense is obviously very, very good, but the Chiefs offensive line is excellent. So I'm going with the Chiefs here. Again, in Denver, that gives me a little pause, but I think this is an interesting divisional game, and I think the Chiefs are going to pull it out.
Nice.
Okay, we picked basically every single thing the same, except you picked the Bucks over the Seahawks. So
yeah,
good about this week, Greg.
It's pretty surprising how much on track we were with each other.
I think that at this point of the year, we kind of know what these teams are.
That's true.
But who knows? This is it's the NFL. Crazy things happen. I think that we have a big couple weeks coming up here, especially in terms of the wild card implications. So it's exciting.
We do, and we also have a big guest picker of the week, James.
Yeah, let's hear him, man.
Good leeway into that. So our guest picker this week, he's a good buddy of ours. I caught him while he was at the gym yesterday. So, I appreciate him just doing it and busting a sweat out while he made his picks. We have our good friend Hootie coming on. So let's take a listen to Hootie's picks.
The Hoot.
Love that guy.
All right. There you go.
Yeah,
cool, man.
Some good analysis by him. He shocked me. He even asked if I was surprised. I was. I mean,
he's very proud of
himself. I gave him the nice easy toss up of Pats versus the Jets, which he analyzed pretty hardcore and almost I think went with the Jets. He was debating it.
He thought about it. Okay, I think that's a wrap on football for this week, Greg. Anything else you want to touch on?
No, not really.
Okay.
I sound disappointed, but
roll. Yeah. let's roll over to. Do you want to do NBA? Or you want to do college?
Let's do NBA because I know we don't have much there.
We don't have much there. I just wanted to highlight a couple of things. The Cavaliers continue to be the toast of the East, and the Hawks and Bulls are hanging around. You've been surprised at the Bulls.
Yeah, the Bulls have surprised me. That chemistry between Rondo, Wade, and Butler has kind of actually worked, and it's not something I thought that would.
Yeah.
Rondo's a head case, and after seeing how everything went with him in Dallas and in Sacramento, did not think it was going to work well with Wade. I thought they were going to butt heads and kind of, differ, and then Jimmy Butler was just going to stand in the background looking like he always does, confused, and not really saying much. So I didn't think that was going to totally work, but it has.
I think that this is going to be the same situation as last year where you have, like, Cleveland above everybody, and then you have a big mass right in the middle of teams that are, very similar records. And you can already see it. I mean, granted, it's so early in the season, but I don't know. You can already see, like, every single, like, the 2 through the 6 seed right now has either 9 or 8 wins.
Yeah, I mean, right now, if the playoffs started today, the Chicago Bulls would be the 3rd seed.
Right. So I just think it's going to continue like this a little bit. You're going to have a massive teams, probably like 4 or 5 teams kind of right in a very similar record area. So I think it's going to be interesting. The one thing that the Bucks are kind of right now on the outside looking in, I would like to see them kind of turn that around a little bit. And keep your eye out on the Orlando Magic. I know that's like a crazy thing for me to say.
Yeah.
It's a weird team, but with Serge Ibaka, you actually have like some professionalism in there, and I'm a big Aaron Gordon fan. I think that guy is going to figure it out. So keep an eye on the Magic.
Yeah, I think the biggest shock to me in the East so far has been just how poor Miami and Washington both have been.
Washington's tough, man. Like, that's a bad team, and I don't know. They have like the most talented backcourt in the entire East. If you ask me.
Yeah, I figured the Wall-Beal combination along with Gobert, not Gobert, is it? The Polish Hammer.
It's oh no, I'm blanking on it.
That's what I understood. Isn't it something with a G?
Oh yeah, Gortat. Thank you.
Gortat. That's what it is, not Gobert. Gobert is Utah. So yeah, I figured those 3 would kind of keep them around 500 at least, or a little above, and it just hasn't been pretty.
Yeah, maybe we'll turn it around. They
have fans crying at the games, James. They have little young boys crying at their games because of how bad they are.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Okay, on the other side in the Western Conference, the most impressive thing to me so far has been the Clippers' pace. They've really turned it on, and they've done it a lot with their bench unit. What the Clippers do, or at least have tried to do at the beginning of the season, is they'll do like hockey substitutions, where they'll whip out like a full bench line and like take all their starters out rather than leaving in like Chris Paul or Blake Griffin to like anchor the bench. They'll just throw out Jamal Crawford, Raymond Felton, Austin Rivers, Wesley Johnson, Emery Sprates, and there's just a lot of scoring in that lineup. And I think that the thing with the bench is the biggest thing with your bench in the NBA is if you can score, then you're in good shape, So I think that's like a really good professional basketball bench that the Clippers have, and they just haven't had that style of contribution. Mo Spates is huge for them. They just have not had that much contribution in the last couple of years. So they still got They still have weird people on their team.
Austin Rivers still there.
Austin Rivers is still there. Doc Rivers still continuously goes for, Eastern Conference semi-all-stars from like the mid to late 2000s. So I don't really totally understand it, but it's working right now.
I don't get what you mean. Paul Pierce isn't like a legit contender player? Like he can't just lock people down anymore?
No, I love Paul Pierce probably more than most things in life, but he's not walking through that door. I'll tell you that much.
But Clippers have definitely been on a nice pace, keeping ahead of the Warriors. They won't actually play the Warriors until December 7th. So that would be a game to watch, though, if they can keep this up right now and have it be the two of those as the top two teams. And then you have them facing the Cavs also on December 1st, which will be another kind of test of how good they really are.
Yeah, I'm interested to see those big time matchups December 7th, that will be circled on my calendar. Anything else you want to touch on, Greg, in the NBA?
In the NBA, there's not a whole lot going on right now. It's still early in the season, so there's not tons to discuss. Joel Embiid of the Sixers has looked really good still, so you got to trust that process. Besides that, not too much I can really connect with right now that I'm like, ooh, I got to talk about that. But yeah, Joel Embiid, looking pretty good to me.
Cool, man. I like it. Okay, cool. Moving on. What do you want to talk about next?
College football, just because it's getting down to the final few weeks. It's a rivalry week in college football, so you have all the big matchups, Michigan, Ohio State. You have Alabama, Auburn, those key games that every year you hear like something crazy usually coming out of. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. A lot of potential meaning in the Big Ten right now for who's going to play in the conference championship could be decided this weekend. Really depends on, I have to remember how it is. So right now, the Big Ten East is basically where all the focus is. You have the Big Ten West has Nebraska and Wisconsin. A lot of people believe Wisconsin is going to take that division and meet in the Big Ten championship. The question is, who's it going to be against? It's going to be against either Michigan, Ohio State, or Penn State. So basically the scenario goes, if Ohio State beats Michigan, then Penn State has to beat, I forget who they're playing this week. They have a cake game this week. So if they win and Michigan loses, Penn State will be in the Big Ten championship. But if Penn State loses and Ohio State wins, Ohio State will be in the Big Ten championship. And then if Michigan beats Ohio State, Michigan's in it. So there's a few different scenarios that can go on where you can have one of three teams. And it will really kind of decide who's going to be in the college football playoffs. A lot of people think there will be at least two teams from the Big Ten now after all the random losses. So it's going to be exciting. You have Alabama, who's basically just has to get past a decent Auburn team to lock up the number 1 seed. Then you have Clemson, who will probably win because Louisville now won't even be a contender. And then you have Washington, who's going to try to sneak in. So it's going to be an interesting final few weeks. I'm curious, especially for tonight, to see what the top 4 is going to be. A lot of people think right now it's going to be Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, and Clemson. So you would have a number 2 versus 3 matchup this weekend, with one of them getting knocked out of the playoffs contention completely. So it's going to be exciting, James.
Yeah, I'm of the mindset that I think that it's similar to how I think that baseball is more interesting when the Red Sox and Yankees are good, and football is more interesting when the Cowboys and the Patriots are good. I think that college football is more interesting when when Michigan and Ohio State are good.
Yeah, especially when you got two big personality coaches at each one with Harbaugh and Urban Meyers.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out on this game coming up on Saturday. This is going to be really where my focus is to see this 2 versus 3 matchup. I think this is the first real test that Michigan will actually face. Big rivalry game, late in the season, playoff implications. This is everything that you want college football to be. So that's the one that I have my eye on.
I even had a conversation on Twitter this past week with a few people about this whole situation and what we think it's going to end up being. Basically, we all had something different, and we all basically said next Sunday we'll have a better idea. But right now, I'm going to guess it's going to go my top 4 is probably going to end up being Alabama. I'm going to go Ohio State is going to beat Michigan. Then I'm going to have Clemson as my 3 team. And then I'm going to have Washington sneaking in as the Pac-12 champion if they can take that home in a week or 2. And if they can do all that, beat Washington State this week because I think they're top 25. And then if they face Colorado in the Pac-10 championship, it's another top 15 team. Look good on the resume. I think that punches their ticket in. And I don't think 2 Big Ten teams make it. I think Michigan gets left out after having a great, great season.
Okay, you heard it here first. All right, guys. Is there anything else we want to tackle before we get out of here, Greg?
Didn't we have a big NHL segment?
Yes, we did. It's coming right
Oh man, I think I missed it. Sorry, my cue.
Oh yeah.
I guess we'll just have to skip it next time.
Next time.
Besides that, the only thing I care about that happened in the news lately was the U.S. men's national team coach got fired. Finally, Jurgen Klinsmann.
Goodbye. So, hey, is what it is.
Yeah, I talked to my brother because he's a big soccer guy and works with the U.S. national team with his company. And I was just like, yeah, so what's the thought? He goes, yeah, we're all kind of happy, but we also had an idea of it was coming and who the new coach is going to be. So I was like, oh, thanks for the heads up. I thought I had an insider. Guess not.
Gotcha. Okay. Scintillating stuff, Greg.
I know.
So that's it for us here in the Sports Stance. Good episode this week, Greg.
Yeah, flew by a little bit. We gave the people a little shorter to read so they didn't fall asleep after that tryptophan.
It's all good, but I just want to say from all of us here at the Sports Stance, happy Thanksgiving. Have a wonderful and safe holiday, and we are looking forward to seeing all of you guys next week.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Enjoy your time with friends, families, whatever you do. Enjoy the games. Bulk up on all that turkey and goodness. Mashed potatoes especially. Have a safe one, guys.
Talk soon. All right.
Yeah. So now all we have to do is do the introduction for the Potter family thing. Let me just look at it again to make sure I understood what they wanted us to do. Yeah, it just says put together a less than 5-minute clip of what is the Potter family. It's like hashtag Potter family meant to your show. So just say you could literally just have to do some bullshit for like 20 seconds just so your voice is on it, since I'm the one I know that mostly interacts with that side of everything.
Okay.
So it'll probably be like a 2-minute thing, and I can just go off on the end, and at the end you can just be like, thanks guys or whatever for everything, but just say basically one nice thing and then you're good.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. So I'll just do the hey guys, this is Greg, and let you say and James. Do you want to, after you say and James, and say we're the guys from the Sports Stance podcast and do your spiel, or do you want me to say something else?
I could do that.
All right. Yeah, I figured might just want to get yours out of the way. All right. Hey guys, this is Greg.
And this is James, and we're the hosts of the Sports Stance podcast, a weekly sports show that breaks down every single sport from around the country and talks about them for a good hour, a little entertaining show. And we want to give a shout out to Potter family this week. Big time props to Potter family for helping our audience grow. It's really helpful to have a community that will encourage people to, put out their show and record and try to make things happen. And it's really a testament to the online community that something like Potter family can happen. So props to them this week from the Sports Stance.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have been great. Potter family, 1-year anniversary, that's big. I mean, you don't just get to 1 year without doing some work. You guys have put in your work. You've helped us. You've helped other podcasts grow. We've met tons of podcasts through doing this. We have them out on our show as guests. It's great. And do you think we could have become the 71st ranked show in the Philippines without you guys? I don't think so.
Probably not.
Probably not, no. So, big props to you guys. 1-year anniversary, that's huge. You've lasted longer than most of Britney Spears' relationships, guys. Congratulations.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fine. All right.
Alrighty.
Good job.
Thank you, too. Good up. And
done before 8 o'clock even.
Yeah, helpful. Very helpful.
Yeah,
so.
It works. Hootie's thing was like 5.5 minutes long, so it's like another few minutes we get to add it in. So it'll probably be around like 50 minutes for this week.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good length.
And that was probably like a 1.5-minute, 2-minute little thingy. So that's perfect. Yeah. Some humor. Alrighty. I'll let you go. Have a good one. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you too. Say hi to Mary and the fam for me.
I will. Give your best to Amy and everyone.
Will do.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.